right, hello and welcome to your new moon tarot forecast for the Capricorn new moon of 2022. So we're only a couple days into 2022 and we are going to figure out what the energy is stirring up with this new moon. And I'm doing this on a minimal effort to video today because I am crunched for time. So normally I would record it on my vlogging camera, edit it on my computer, and then post it. But I'm gonna try and make this just a straight through cut. So forgive any flubs and lines because I'm probably not gonna go back through and edit things out. So I'm gonna try and make this as professional as possible as I talk things out and tell you some news. So the first thing that I have to say is that if you're new to this channel, or if you're new to watching these videos, they happen on my YouTube and my Instagram on the new and full moon every month. And basically they are shorter versions of an extended reading that I offer over on my Patreon. So we are going to do a general read with 4 different oracle cards for everyone that appears online. And then it gets a little more pared down when I help break out the tarot cards because we're gonna go into some energy of the people on my Patreon. Now, the magic of tarot is that the cards are gonna fall based on if you are currently a Patreon member or if you decide to become a Patreon member during this month. Your energy is still involved in the reading. So head over to patreon.com/Michelle and see if it's for you. Also, a super special announcement, I am currently shaking up the way that I do the tiers over on the Patreon. So I haven't currently updated what it says, but I can tell you right now that these extended videos are now gonna be available for my monthly mystics and higher. So they used to only be for the highest level full-time fortune tellers, and I'm dropping them down to the monthly mystics, as well as dropping down the monthly live tarot event to the monthly mystics. The full-time fortune tellers now earn periodic one-on-one readings with me throughout the year. So if you do want to become a full-time fortune teller level, you will, after several months of membership, get a free reading as a thank you from me to you for supporting me on the Patreon. And that is the announcement portion of this. So we're gonna dive into some cards. I hope that 2022 is starting off with a bang for you. I myself just recently released the soft launch of my new online magazine, Former Teen. So if you're interested in some adult content, not adult content, but if you're interested in teen fun with an adult spin on it and you want to know more about that, head over to formerteen.com and you can check out my editor's letter for the month of January, which explains a little bit more about the things that we're gonna see. And you can also choose to submit either as a writer or as a reader, because we are gonna have a section for embarrassing stories that are reader submissions, and we're also gonna have a section called Dear Tarot, which is my Dear Abby metaphysical version, where I will answer questions on the magazine that are from readers using tarot cards. So it's, again, a free tarot card reading. You only have to be willing to share your results with the world. So those can be submitted anonymously or with a name, and all of that information is over at formerteen.com. So starting with the deck of my creation, Total Betty Goddess deck, we are figuring out what the month of January, or in particular this new moon in Capricorn, has a little goddess energy that just jumped out at me, so we're gonna take it. We have Isis, who is played by Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction, and she is basically our symbolic rebirth. So how perfect is that for the start of a new year? We are being reborn. So it's like, I keep using the comparison in the readings with this card, but I just love it so much. It's a shot of adrenaline to our heart so that we come back to life and see things from a new perspective. So that's gonna be a really powerful energy to embody as we go into January 2022. And I encourage you under this new moon to ask yourself, where do you need to have a little shot of adrenaline in your life? Like what needs to feel like it got a little second life or a rebirth? Because that is going to be what the focus of this new moon energy is. After that, we're picking cards from the Fuzzy Prism Oracle, which are little gentle emotion cards. We're gonna do 3. So this is still the general collective reading. Well, we got 1 jumping out, so I'll take it. And the 3 oracle cards after the Goddess deck oracle card are just going to tell us a little info on the energy that was moving into this new moon, the energy that this new moon is bringing about, and the energy that will follow after this new moon. So we already have our past that's fallen out of the deck. I'm going to take this one because it looks like it's falling out. And we got another one. So all the cards are jumping. Cards are very talkative today. The past card is Serenity, which is an interesting one. We'll talk about that in a second. Present card is Awareness. And the future card is Discover. So I find Serenity weird. Not weird, but I know that we're going to find Serenity interesting because I'm sure that a lot of us don't necessarily think of the previous year as a super serene one. But what these cards are telling to me is that there's been a sense of serenity in the release of emotions, because as you see, this card is crying. So while serenity may bring to mind a peacefulness, that doesn't mean that it's peace without earning it or without going through the muck to get to the other side. So this is really about a catharsis. It's about a cleansing of the emotions so that we can find a more serene state. And through that, we're bringing ourselves into a place of further awareness of our emotional patterns and of the things that weren't working in previous years, so that we can then move into a future of discovering what does work for us. So this is definitely feeling like the reading that's following this is going to be about and for people who have been really in the thick of it with their emotions, really doing a lot of self-examination as to their emotional patterns and why it is that they feel certain things and what their triggers are, and really working on those things, really working on not just knowing your triggers and then telling people you're triggered, but actually working on not being triggered by something, because there's a big difference between those two things. And that's going to be for people that are ready to kind of up level in that process, the people that have been doing the work, maybe going to therapy or just doing the self-examination of their emotional thought patterns. My own psychology nerd is coming forward in this, looking at these cards, like the feeling of like really wanting to educate yourself on the way your mind works and the way your emotion works and why you feel the way you do and why you have the reactions that you do, and then working backwards to reprogram those things. So if that sounds like you, if that's what your journey has been on, particularly at the end of 2021, then the rest of these cards are probably for you as well. So the tarot cards that I'm about to pull, again, they are now for the monthly mystics over on my Patreon, which there's an $11 difference between the levels, so I'm hoping that more people will want to join for these extended readings. It's just an $11 membership fee, and in addition to the extended tarot readings at the monthly mystic level, you also get access, like I said, to the live full moon events, and you get access to the lower level stuff, which is the tarot scopes for the month, which are perfect for right now because they were just released just on the 1st, and the weekly pick a card readings. So you get lots and lots of tarot for that $11 price tag, and you get to support what's happening on these channels and the things that I do. If I buy new decks, it's funded from that. So really, I appreciate all of my Patreon members, but you're getting something out of it as well. So if that sounds like that's something that's fun for you, head over to patreon.com/Michelle Shea. I don't know that I'm gonna have a caption at the bottom, so it's like the username you're probably watching this on. Shea is in Shea Butter, SHEA. And we are going to dive in for the other readers on the Patreon. So if you are watching this on Patreon, the rest of your reading starts right now.